We completed about 10 chapters,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Everybody.
No, mic was off.
Huh?
Mic was mute. Mic was mute.
We are talking among them.
Of the 10, what strikes to us now? Right from 10 chapters plus the article, first article. So we will take it as 11 chapters. Out of these 11, because we have been telling ourselves that we are on an in-depth study,
Objectless happiness.
Objectless happiness. Bliss means objectless happiness.
I'm talking among
Huh?
subtle and mysterious power.
Subtle and that is very important. Subtle. When Ram is introduced, what is Ram? Who is Ram? How does he function? How do we know that he is Ram? Ram stands for the outpervading, indwelling reality, who is the subtle and mysterious power.
Constant remembrance and trust for a sadhaka is a must.
Yes. No, before that, before we bring out another point, when we say the indwelling and the all-pervading reality is introduced to us by Papa in the form of a subtle and mysterious power. Again, it becomes academic. It's a textual interpretation. How do I know?
Body is alive. When body is alive, then only it can talk. So that mysterious power only making talk, do everything. So that is.
Now it is there behind these words. Otherwise it becomes academic.
Through meditation and chanting.
Wait, no. Otherwise it becomes academic. What is told by Papa, we are repeating it. We have been doing it for 60, 70 years. We have not reached anywhere. But he wants...
When it suddenly guides you from nowhere,
Suddenly guides you.
and
Anything?
although he is a
When it suddenly guides
power,
you.
it's a very strong power.
No, wait. Before we think about it, let's power. Again, we may think it is a separate, That is the fundamental problem all of us are facing. All these days, in our review now, though we have completed 10, what is more important is to know Papa wanted us to convey that it is the subtle and behind everything, who is behind even these words, even behind everyone who is hearing now. It is by his power we are hearing. It is by his power we are seeing. Otherwise, again, it becomes textual knowledge, which has not helped us. All my senses are working because of that mysterious power in me, in or without, or both. So first within. No, it should become very, very clear to us. My thinking process, my seeing process, behind all this, that power is there. So that from the textual knowledge to a higher knowledge we are trying to understand. We have to recognize. Papa say, no, let us again. Let us again think. We have to recognize that beyond the exterior dynamics of the body and the mind, there is within man, it has been defined by Papa as the subtle and mysterious power. And then he says, it is by the power of the Spirit that our life is activated in its manifold expressions. Then he says, in the classroom, hospital, office, marketplace, factory, field, as well as in temple, church and mosque, we should tune ourselves with the Spirit. That means in all fields. Then only meditation comes, then only a surrender comes, then only subservience to that power comes. Because now and here, it is not that we have to attain later. We have to realize it now. Realize that there is a power behind my talking, my being. If it is not clear, again we will go through. Papa does not want us to have any academic knowledge.
Yesterday only you said the eye of our eyes.
That is the Spirit, yes, correct. So we should be very clear now. Ram is inside. It is because of the present boss sitting inside. And because of his presence, everything becomes active. So even the feeling that I am, there is a sense of individuality, it is because he is there. Clear, Acharya? Is that clear? Our dhyanatthil irukar. Is that clear?
Need some standard how to approach.
Behind my eyes, behind my understanding, behind my attending, behind my sitting now, behind my knowing that I am there. Papa is taking us closer to Ram, no? Previously we were thinking he's outside. Now he's slowly taking us nearer to him. So the first thing we understand is that he's of individuality. Again we will read that portion from Thus Speaks Ramdas. What he appears to be, a bundle of flesh, bones, blood, skin, nor a creature living and acting solely under the impulses and thoughts rising from the mind. We have to recognize that beyond the exterior dynamics of the body and mind, beyond the exterior dynamics of the body and the mind, there is within man the Spirit which is immortal. Life is active. Pervades and sustains the whole universe. Pervades and sustains the whole universe. He is present in all. He is present in all things and in all lies at once. All things and in all lies at once. The unity or love of Ram. Love of Ram means love of all beings, all Ram is all ignorance. Feel as separate individuals should submit ourselves to the will and working of that infinite power, that infinite love Ram. It is becoming clearer and clearer to all of us now of this particular article. Ram has the static power and Ram has the dynamic power. That is why when he took sannyas, these both are consecrated to the meditation, and it applies to all of us, Papa has put it in beautiful. So this has to be ourselves. Ram is within us. Whatever name we give,
Swami,
yeah.
It's not audible, Padmaji.
So when we meditate on him, when we meditate on him, it becomes a static, correct?
When we meditate, it becomes static. Is it correct? Padmaji, in between audio is not coming.
No, we mentioned the
again repeat.
We mentioned the 1 minute. We mentioned about the static and dynamic aspect only for us to understand. Let us not get stuck there. We are trying to understand that even behind our thinking, now that a doubt or a thought has come, you are placing it. Even behind that, there is the power. We are trying to understand that power. That is important. Rest of the things are, theoretical. We are trying to understand that even behind these words, how does the word come? How does it come out of our mouth? That power. Because subtle and mysterious power, this clarity we should have. He is there, Ram is there in all of us. He has given us a sense of individuality. He made us to forget about his presence. Now he is slowly revealing to us that he is there. And because of him only we are there. And now a stage comes when we are trying to realize his presence. How do we try to realize his presence? Immediately Papa guides us that behind all the sense organs, behind all the mind and intellect, what is it that makes it to act? That power. That is why I say that a lot of inward journey is necessary. Only through inward journey this can be made clear. So we sit and dwell on this. Where from this thought comes? Only because Ram is there, the thought is coming up. And who is Ram? Ram is the subtle and mysterious power. It is high time we move from the textual to the experiential level. So 10 chapters we covered different facets, different aspects, only to get more and more clarity on this aspect. Even the next 27 chapters also, we should be only for making us closer, moving closer to the Ram inside. Rest of the things are all okay. It may come, intellect may answer, intellect may not get answer, but this is very important. And this power is not gross, because that is why it is nameless and formless. Just like electricity, nobody will be able to show electricity, but we can only say when the fan is working or the light is working or the gadget is working, we can say the current is there. So electricity can be felt or proved or observed only through its manifestation. Similarly, God is a subtle and mysterious power. He cannot be brought within the ambit of knowables. He can be seen only through his manifestation. Not merely the outer manifestation, inner manifestation. Like all our sense organs are active, mind is active, intellect is active. Power behind that, power behind that, power behind that. So we have to keep on hammering this, no?
First eye is the eye of our eye. Second is digital eye. Eye of our eye. The first eye.
The physical eye and the eye that sees through the eye. Chakshusha chakshuhu.
When the thought emanates from the mysterious power, why that same thought is finding it difficult to identify the source?
You check up, Again, you are bringing it as an object. You are trying to find out the reason from outside, That is why inward journey is a must. Because he is not an object. He is something beyond the purview of thought. And whatever we explain is within the purview of thought. That is why he says indefinable, undefinable, indescribable. Why all these mentioned? Because it is beyond the purview of thought. So let us all keep this, alive. This is the main purpose of this In Quest of God. That is why Papa put that article first in that book. The first article of his first book. Right from the oven, Right from the experience he had, he shared with us. 1920 to 1923, 1920 to 1922, intense. Then 22 to 23, exposed himself. And the sum total of it, he reveals it in Quest of God. And in the In Quest of God, before entering into the first chapter, he defines, because he keeps on telling about Ram. So who is Ram? So he defines Ram. So now we understand that the entire 37 chapters are for making us to know who is Ram. Not as an object, but trying to understand him as the very subject.
Simile. Eyes can see anything else, but eyes cannot see that which makes the eye to see. Think about it.
These are all Upanishadic words. Kenopanishad. That is it. You have shared this. Thirila Pora Samiye Pakrada Pakanam. We have shared this, but for those who are attending for the first time, we will again repeat. It's a beautiful hint. You know, in Tamil Nadu, you have got this chariot. Once in a year, the deity will be placed and everybody will be pulling. And it's a big utsav. Everybody will feel the Lord has come to my home or my entrance. Then everybody will offer whatever they have, and everybody is pulling. It will not be driven by any motor. So there was a Swami called Yogar Swami in Sri Lanka, Colombo. Not Colombo, south, north of Yarpanam. Jaffna. So when we went to Sri Lanka, Paramalingam shared this with us. He said, Yoga Swami is a very highly evolved soul. He will only give a few words, but that is full of sublime teachings. So he said, Terla Pora Samiye, the deity is going in the chariot, we call it Ter, chariot. Pakarada Pakanam. I am seeing the deity drawn in the chariot. But who is seeing the seer? The seer behind the seeing. அப்படி இருக்கு. தேரில் போகிற சாமியை பார்க்கறத பார்க்கணும். நானே பார்க்கணும். நான் வெளியில் தானே பார்த்துட்டுருக்கேன். தேரை பார்த்துட்டுருக்கேன், சாமியை பார்த்துட்டுருக்கேன். நான் பார்த்துட்டுருக்கேன்னு எனக்கு தெரியறது. ஆனால் யார் பார்க்குறா உள்ளேருந்து நான் கேட்கணும் இல்லையா? எப்படியாக்கி நான் பார்க்க முடியறது? எல்லாம் அடங்கியாச்சதில்ல. தேரில் போகிற சாமியை பார்க்குறத பார்க்கணும். திங்க போட்டு பார்க்குறவரே இல்லை, பார்க்குறத பார்க்கணும். நம்மளே தானே பார்க்குறோம். நம்மளே யார் பார்க்குறா? Who is seeing within us? So same thing. Srotasya srotram manaso mano yadi vachoha vacham pranasya prana chakshusha chakshuhu adimuchya dhiraha. These are all words from Kenopanishad. Same. So Papa wants us to apply our mind. We are chanting the name of God. He says, first of all, you should know you are chanting the name of one who is within you. And then he adds, you are chanting the name of one who is making you to chant. These two are important. First he said you are chanting the name of one who is within you. The next graduated stage is you are chanting the name of one who is making you to chant. Pakarada Pakanam. So now when he is here, so this first article gives a glimpse, We all think, when are we going to get realization? This is a normal prayer of any ardent devotee. Because still we feel that he is separate. He is away from me. So Papa is clearly mentioning this. Through so many articles, through so many satsang, he has clarified this.
Swamiji?
Yes.
Swamiji? It is also mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, Shloka number 9.
Chapter
15, Shloka number 9.
What does it say?
I am the Adhishta of all the Shrotra, Chakshu, Sparshanam, Rasanam, everything.
Okay. We are trying to understand from the textual to the knowledge level now. If that helps us to get some clarity, okay. Otherwise our mind will keep on searching for such references. Those were essential for our inward journey. Now we are trying to make use of it, consolidate our earnings. He provided us, he made us an access towards Bhagavad Gita, to Upanishad, to this, to that. But now we are trying to consolidate our earnings and try to move towards him. This is very, very important, no? That is the very purpose of his motivating us to take to this in-depth study. Now when we go back all the 10, it becomes clear that first he gave us who is Ram.
So then what is?
Her audio is not proper today.
And then in the first chapter, all the preparatory measures. Second chapter, he identified the greatest roadblock. One minute.
Entity.
He is not an entity.
What does it mean?
Object. In the first chapter, it was all preparatory measures. In the second chapter, he again brings this: thou art the sole protector in the world. O Ram, when thy slave finds thee at once so powerful and so loving, and he who trusts thee can be sure of true peace and happiness, why should he not throw himself entirely on thy mercy, which can be possible only by giving up everything he called mine? Thou art all in all to thy slave. Do this, I do that, this is mine, that is mine. All, O Ram, is thine. All things are done by thee alone. Thy slave's one prayer to thee is to take him under thy complete guidance and remove his I-ness. And the prayer was heard. So when we came to this second chapter, we suddenly realized that Papa wanted everyone to draft out their own prayer. Because from experience we know that we have been repeating the prayer composed by Mahatmas. We have not understood. Prabhu Vishwanatha, we are hearing it now for so many years. But in the second line, we say, I come in all humility to thy holy feet and surrender myself entirely to thee. We have not understood. We are just repeating. We have never surrendered anything. So that was the prayer of Papa. It gives us some guidance. When we read Adorable Presence, Omkarji Maharaj's prayer, it gives us some guidance. But here, Papa is not quoting anybody's prayer. Papa is having the prayer in his own language from the bottom of the heart. Thy slave's one prayer to thee is to take him under thy complete guidance, remove his I-ness. The prayer was heard. Now we are looking back to our own. How many prayers we have been repeating? It is not a waste. It has not gone in vain, but it has not really taken us to the goal. It has helped us to move nearer to, but we have not really understood. Because if we have tried to understand those words, we would have moved faster towards him. Make me dedicate my life to thee and to thy service. Every sentence we are trying to understand now. Have we been able to live up to? By thy grace may peace and joy always dwell in my heart. Grant me power to love thee with all my heart. Let whatever I do be a fitting offering at thy holy feet. Make me pure in thought, word, and deed. I lay my mind at feet, fill it always with thy remembrance. Let thy glorious light illumine my heart. So like that we repeat. It has helped us, but it has not taken us to him. That is the blunt truth. So this second chapter clearly mentions, because the other day when we were discussing, somebody asked why our prayers are not heard. We have not so far prayed. The prayer should be in our own language. If we go through Guru's grace, tomorrow is our Puja Mataji's 119th Jayanti day. It will be appropriate to remember the inspiring life and mission of Puja Mataji. Throughout the Guru's grace, you will find, excepting in one chapter, some bhajans she has repeated. Otherwise, everywhere she is addressing, instead of Ram, she mentioned Papa. That's all. She got the permission from Papa to use the word Papa wherever Papa was mentioning about Ram. So here the Papa stands for the subtle and mysterious power. And every para starts with a prayer, a narration. Not the episode is separate from him. If you go through that, every para starts from addressing, linking, connecting with that subtle and mysterious power.
Attributes, Swamiji.
No. We call it as attribute, but it is connecting, no? It is not separate connecting. We should not think that attribute means it is separate. The attributes of God is such that it is immanent, it is intimate, it is not separate. When we say He is all-loving, the love is within us.
Swamiji, because of this, because of Guru's grace, we can understand
Because of this, we can understand now.
Yeah.
Little bit about Mataji.
Mataji would be happy if she wanted, when she was telling, you all remember 12 times,
11.
11. 13 times.
11.
9 and 11.
11 times.
9 and 11. She was quoting about 9 and 11. 11 stands for the impersonal truth. I was remembering 11 and 13. 9 and 11. 9 and 11. Mataji wanted every one of us to do this 11 times. Before that, we have to do Pradakshina of the Samadhi of Papa. And then place the book at the Samadhi on his holy feet. And then pray to him to reveal to us the impersonal truth.
Swamiji, 14 rounds of Samadhi.
14 rounds.
Rounds are 14.
Very good. At least we remember.
Ramnam is 14.
And then 14 rounds of the Samadhi Mandir. 11 times reading, every time, and the purpose was, she said, why not 9? 9 she does not recommend, but she wanted all of us to do 11 times so that we get connected with the impersonal truth, impersonal aspect, the subtle and mysterious power aspect.
Ramnam is 14 letters, that's why 14 rounds she used to say.
Ramnam has got 14 letters, so probably that is why she said 14 rounds of pradakshina. So tomorrow we should remember all these. Somebody can bring that, I don't know. You don't have the publication here, no?
It is there.
Huh?
Guru's there, sir.
No,
Publication.
no,
Where do you want to send it?
no, wait.
I'll bring you
With the Divine Mother.
with the divine.
Please hold on, 1 minute. We will read Mataji's own words. It is in our... If you find it difficult, I can...
It is there.
I don't know which you take first. There are 3 volumes.
Mataji,
Yes.
Ma-
Yes.
Mataji,
Yes, ma.
it is inside, it is in this book, Divine Mother, old copy is inside Papa Mataji's room. On the left side, upstairs,
books
where all
she is
old
studying.
mission is kept.
This is mistake. Publication. Publication. It is.
Divine Mother. Volume number 1. IQG, In Quest of God.
This is IQG. You want to open?
To go there, open, find, In Quest of God. Control F. If you are sure about 14 times, you can 14. 14, 1, 4 or FOUR.
Rounds are 14, Swamiji. 14 read.
Whether 1, 4 or FOUR, TW, that you don't remember.
14.
Okay, 11 times that is very much. Space. 11 times.
Yes.
Times also if you put
Hanuman Chalisa daily 11.
Then again one more. Some more will be there. There are 5, no? 1 minute.
It won't go. No touch screen.
Oh. Okay. Then you put enter. Okay, so that. Today is the 9th day of your living. Mataji says, today is the 9th day of your reading of In Quest of God, is it not? She asked somebody to read. I wanted you all to read it 11 times so that your mind would turn within to Nirguna Brahman. 11 stands for the transcendental truth. After you have done this, you may take up at the feet of God. Only then you can derive the fullest benefit of the reading. Again, some more are there. I don't know. One more you try. Here. If you find it difficult to read Papa's book 11 times, you may read it 9 times. But 9 does not stand for Nirguna Brahman. It stands for saints and Mahatmas like the Navayogis. By asking you all to read In Quest of God 11 times, I had hoped that you would all be fired by a keen desire and enthusiasm to realize Papa. But so far, so far what happened? None of us. Next. No. Next page. So far, he is not here. Somewhere there. You have to go there again. Anyway, it's all right. So you got the idea, Tomorrow being Puja Mataji's Jayanti day, we will have the session. Though tomorrow is Sunday. We will read out. Mataji's words about inquest of God, what she is expecting us to do. That 14 times. Unfortunately, we are unable to locate immediately. 14 rounds. 11 times. And these 11 times she clearly mentions, because we are trying to understand the Nirguna Nirakara Shashvatananda Swarup realized in us. And she elaborately discusses how we should start. But we are trying to make ourselves feel that we are on an in-depth study for the past 8 flashes of the core of our being, the Ram factor in us. In Mataji's language, the Papa factor in us. We should not confuse Papa, the word, wherever Papa has used the word Ram, Mataji has replaced it with Papa. That's all. So when he means Ram as the Nirguna Tattva and Saguna Tattva, Mataji also means the Nirguna Tattva and Saguna Tattva. Papa's Saguna. So Mataji has been watching all of us, and she found none of us are raising ourselves to this extent. Though we are so always Mataji was complaining, because she was also an earthly mother to all of us. Rather than more than a Vishwa Mata, she was an earthly mother to us. So when she wanted her children, she was frantically pining for it. And she even took Papa into task for this. Then Papa finally had to say, it has to come from within. Nobody can give it from outside. There is a process involved. It is there in the gospel. So Mataji's concern was that every one of us should realize the presence who is already there in us. And all her dealings, when she planned all these, the ashram has come because of her only. Every step, not only she wanted the material comforts to be given to the devotees, she was equally concerned about the spiritual aspect. Unfortunately, we did not concentrate on the spiritual aspect. We concentrated only on the material aspect, sentimental aspect, emotional aspect, that's all. But she wanted every one of us to reach that. At times, we find she is more blunt than Papa. When she was explaining about the great void, she says, you must know who Papa is. Papa is Nirguna Nirakara Shashvata, all-pervading existence. You can get some idea of Papa's Swarup if you stand on an open ground and look at the sky. The space where there is nothing between the earth and sky can give you an insight into beloved Papa's all-pervading existence beyond all names and forms. Though his Nirguna Swarup cannot be compared to anything, to give you some idea, I would say that it is like the vacant space between us, which is all-pervading. Papa wanted me to look upon the Guru as the omnipresent, omniscient and Nirguna Nirvikar being. Papa taught me that Guru was as vast, limitless and formless as the emptiness all around me. You pour water into the emptiness, it will not get wet. You set fire to it, it will not burn. Such a universal one is the Guru. While surrendering himself completely to the Guru, the disciple does so, looking upon the Guru as the all-pervading, nameless, formless reality, who is the great void existing all around. By so doing, the devotee reduces himself to nothingness as well as gives himself up to his master, who is already the all-pervading void. So, while explaining about the Nirguna Tattva, she draws this space, very easy for us to understand intellectually. But still we did not. That was what Mataji was always worried. None of us gave. She used to bluntly say in many of the satsang, you have no idea about Papa. 1 minute. That is why she used to say that when you wound anybody, you are wounding Papa. When you throw something, you are throwing Papa. That means in each and everything, all pervading, So she is trying to hammer this truth to us. Still we looked at her, we were happy with the presence, but we were separate from everybody, including Mataji. To us, she was also separate. Though she has been trying to hammer this into our brain, we did not. That is what Mataji was very much worried. She calls it, that is why she says, when there is pettiness, she cannot tolerate. Because that means you have isolated yourself from the rest of the creation. That is what is called pettiness, narrow-minded. When you are broad, you are bringing, unknowingly or knowingly, bringing the more and more creation into your love circle. So tomorrow is the day when we apply our mind intently, the same thing, Nirguna Tattva, because Jayanti offers an opportunity for all of us to intensely go through their life and teachings. Not merely a day, not merely we say Jayanti. One of her teachings, suppose we take it seriously, it will lead to the next. So tomorrow evening also we will have Satsang. We will try to read many of her words on these aspects during her Satsang. Shuranji was kind enough to note down everything, and those were brought out in the form of books. There are 3 volumes, out of which we have culled out this. Whenever we talk about inquest of God, what should be our attitude? Why are we taking it up? Why 9 and 11? And what are the preparatory measures we have to take before that? All those things we will again go through it tomorrow and pray to Mataji, who is now in the form of remembrance in our heart, to bless us with the needed intensity to feel the presence of the subtle and mysterious power. And Mataji was combining both, not merely the static aspect, but also the dynamic aspect. Her taking up a lot of activities was not, charitable activity or anything else. She was she was trying to reach out to herself through various forms. She used to bluntly say that, I am not doing anything, I am only doing to myself. When Puja Swamiji asked her, you say that we have not risen up. You say that we have not done. But the indwelling reality should give us that intensity, So why should you blame us? Why don't you take that reality into task? Immediately, Mataji smiled and said, to whom else I am now complaining? See the level, no? We thought it was from individual to individual. But she immediately said, Puja Swamiji was sharing this with us. To whom else I am complaining now? I am only complaining to him. And ultimately to me. Just like a mother, Mother is concerned. So out of, when she comes down to the mother's level, she will not bother about anything. She wants her children to become aware of the presence of God. That's all. That concern. Tomorrow when we say we are celebrating, there is no celebration in ashram, but still we can say that tomorrow is the 119th Jayanti of Param Pujya Mataji. So first we can say that we should remember her with gratitude. Because but for her this ashram would not have come. Papa would have just left everything and gone. After that Kasaragod incident, when Papa suddenly left at the night, early morning, she immediately blocked the road, extracted a promise that wherever you go, I will be there. And that is how on 15th May 1931 this ashram came into being. And even there Papa has written in Inquest in the Vision of God, it was Mataji who was supervising all the construction. With her frail health, when she had that fall, she had, pain, but with all that, she was supervising the construction of Bhajan Hall and the building behind it. At that time it was her building, where she camped and then where she cooked. There was no canteen, canteen all came later. So there was only one room for her, and then she was cooking and serving Papa. Then it became a bigger and bigger one. Slowly she started adding one more. When devotees come, their children used to cry. So many things. Papa also assisted. You remember, Papa was churning. And she asked Papa also to go out, for when there was a Pestonji wrote a letter that from Bombay that he would like to see. Papa had no idea to leave ashram. So while he was churning the curd the morning, Mataji took up the subject when he is so much and on a lighter vein he said, I was relieved from this churning business. So just imagine, individually she was managing, built up brick by brick, provided everything for us. We are enjoying everything. But are we hearing what she really wanted? One side we have understood what all Mataji has given, and we are checking up whether we have done anything towards that. So tomorrow is a day when we try to go deeper within it, and we hope and pray for her blessings to guide us and to make us know and reach up to what is expected of us. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om. 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 Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai. Hari Om, Hari Om. Hari Om, Hari Om. Hari Om. Namaskar, namaskar, namaskar. Namaskaram, namaskaram. Tomorrow morning, tomorrow is